Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Your Age is Not Your Cage with Carla Allen. I am so happy to be here with you today for another summer short solo episode. And today it's going to be on one of my very, very favorite topics ever. And for those of you that know me, know this is something I'm passionate about. One of the many things, but this is one that I am so incredibly passionate about, and that is walking. So don't tune out on me if you're not a walker. Hear me out, listen to this, and I promise you, you will probably want to grab some shoes and get out and start walking. And so let's get started with that today, and let's talk about walking and the benefits of walking. And I'm going to share with you some things that you could do to help incorporate this into your life, your daily rhythms. And like I've said before, it's what it comes down to is finding that thing you love to do. And walking may or may not sound that fun to you, but I assure you, when I talk to you about all the things that helps me with, I bet you'll change your mind. And so let's just get started. And I'm going to share things that will help you and hopefully encourage you and get you to start this daily rhythm in your life. Because I always say, if you just discipline yourself to get started and you stay consistent, then you will create that regular rhythm and those healthy habits that just with commitment will be a sustainable lifestyle that you have created for yourself. And that is what we want, is things that help create that sustainable lifestyle of things that bring you joy, that bring you movement to your body to help you, to especially help you as you age. So let's dig right in. No more of me on my soapbox here, and let's talk about the benefits of walking, because there are so many. And the obvious for me is, of course, moving your body is what we need in order to stay in good health, in order to keep our cardio fitness up, and not even just that, but our mental fitness. Walking is such a mental thing for me. It helps lift my spirits. And so it's not just something I do for a quote unquote fitness or activity, but it is something that helps me with mind, body, and spirit, which is what I'm so passionate about, because it all goes together. So if you're doing something that helps you to free your mind and lift your spirits and take away some of the stress, then that goes along with everything else in keeping your body healthy as you age. And also just think about it when you're outside. If you're not able to, of course, there's treadmills and gyms and all the things. But if you are able to be outside, there's something about being out in nature. It's so hot in Texas right now. We had a reprieve in July, which was amazing. So I am not complaining. But August is going to be brutal and a lot of 100+ temps. But there are times I love to go outside and walk when it's that hot. Of course, I make sure I'm hydrated, and you can listen to my episode prior to this on water and hydration and electrolytes. I make sure that I'm fully hydrated and I have my electrolytes to keep me replenished as I sweat. But there's something about it I love. And then there's also something that I love about when it's cold and you go out, and at first you're kind of cold, but then you're shedding layers because it feels great and invigorating. So that's where I'm at with walking right now. Is not cold, but very hot, but I love it. Otherwise, I get out early. I get out early enough so that I can beat the heat and get a workout maybe when I don't want to sweat as much. But one of the things that it also can help, like when like even seasonal depression in these seasons of when we come into the cold months and stuff, it is such a way to relieve that and just soak in sunlight and get that vitamin D that your body needs. Another thing that it can really help decrease is if you're feeling uptight or angry or anxious or stressed. It is a way for your body to just slow down and to just decompress as you're walking. And you can do this by yourself or with friends, whatever it is that fills your cup and makes you feel great. And you might change it up. You might sometimes walk by yourself. You might sometimes walk with others. But either way, it's such a great way to relieve that stress and relieve any kind of depression or anxiety, and to just get out in nature. Or if you can't do that, if it's a treadmill, that is okay too. But try to get out into nature as much as you can. Okay, so another thing, and I think this is pretty obvious, that of course it burns calories and it can help you maintain a healthy weight, or it can also help you lose weight. And I am not a big scale person. I will weigh occasionally, but I am not set on numbers on a scale because muscle can weigh just as much. So I'm just not big on a scale. I am more on how are your clothes fitting? How are they feeling? When they start feeling looser, that walking can be helping reduce body fat and also improve your body's response to insulin, which is another great benefit to walking. And you can change up your route. Excuse me. You can change up your calorie burn and what you're doing when you're walking outside by planning that route that like includes hills. You could do speed walking. You could go between that and a like a slower pace. You could do some sprints, and you could just challenge yourself to do some different routes on different days. You could set goals on how many steps you want in a day if you have a step counter or an Apple Watch or something where you can track it. And as long as you don't get too obsessive about that, I my watch tracks like my mileage. I don't really look at my steps every day. I move around a lot. I walk a lot. I go to the gym, and I'm constantly moving. So I don't really worry about my steps. Now, the days when I have to sit and record podcasts and work on my show notes and things like that, or coaching stuff, computer stuff, I make sure I get up more. And I also have a walking pad at my desk so that I can also utilize that to keep myself moving instead of sitting stagnant, because that drives me absolutely crazy. But so another benefit is like daily walking can increase your metabolism, which also helps you burn extra calories and can help in preventing muscle loss, which is so important as we're getting older. And that is a benefit that you definitely want, because we want to keep the muscle we have. We don't want to lose muscle as we age. And I can tell you from my walking, I know it's one of the things that has kept my legs strong and containing more muscle in addition to my gym time. But I truly believe my walking just amplifies that and helps the strength in my legs, which also helps me in my workouts too. But back to like doing things to change it up. Do some intervals. Do some moderate pace, some fast pace, some hills, some straightaways, and this will also benefit your cardio system. And when you just try to add, say you do some intervals, let me think here. Say you warm up for like 3 minutes, and then you could spend 25 minutes alternating between like 1 minute of walking almost as fast as you can go, and then 1 minute of brisk walking, like aiming for an intensity of like 5 or 6 on an intensity scale. So, like 1 to 10, you want to be about a 5 or 6. And then cool down for 2 minutes. That's a way to change it up and do something different. And that is 30 minutes. Knock that out. But let me add to that. If you're not walking or moving your body at all, don't try and go out and get crazy on your first day. I always say one step at a time. So if you haven't walked yet, make that first step to just get out for 10 minutes. And when you feel good enough past that, add another 5 minutes and then add another 5 minutes. But do it one step at a time so you don't feel like you go into it going, I can't do that. I couldn't do 30 minutes. That's okay. Don't give up. Don't quit. Just back it up and take one step at a time and start out slower and at a less time frame. And I assure you, you will be moving up and walking more than you ever thought possible. Okay, so another thing is walking is so good for heart health. It's one of the major ways that you can improve your heart health because it can help you lower your blood pressure. So I was reading up on some of the walking research and studies, and one of them said that it shows for every 1,000 daily steps you take, you could lower your systolic blood pressure by 0.45 points. That means if you clock in 10,000 daily steps, which I know is a lot what people set their goal at, your systolic blood pressure is likely to be 2.25 points lower than someone else who's walking 5,000 steps. So that is amazing. And again, if you're not up to 10,000 yet, that's okay. Look at the goal you can set for yourself at this time. But it also, one of the other studies I was looking at found that those who walked enough to meet the physical activity guidelines had a 30% lower risk of cardiovascular events like a heart attack or a stroke compared to those who don't walk regularly. And another study found that, especially for older adults, that every 500 additional steps taken daily was associated with 14% lower risk of heart disease, stroke, or heart failure. Isn't that something we all want? I know for me, being 59 years old, it's things I think about. I have a grandmother that had a stroke. She did not have her stroke till she was, I believe it was 92. But I don't want any of those. I will do all I can to keep my body as healthy as possible to help in avoiding those things. It doesn't mean I'm free and clear of it, but I can do what I can to help as much as I can avoid those being big risks in my life. Okay, let's see. Excuse me. Another thing is it can reduce your risk of chronic diseases. In one of the studies that I looked at, it showed that walking 8,200 steps reduce the risk of chronic diseases. So like a chronic disease is something like obesity, sleep apnea, reflux disease, GERD, depressive disorder, major depressive disorder, type 2 diabetes, which has increased substantially in today's age, and hypertension, which is high blood pressure. This study also found that walking even more steps will continue to increase your walking benefits for nearly every health condition out there that is studied. That is incredible. And, you know, it shows that when you're walking, as far as like diabetes, to lower your blood sugar. Let me start that over. When that walking can help to lower the blood sugar levels and also lower your overall risk for type 2 diabetes. This study, it showed that specifically just 2 minutes of walking after eating can help lower your blood sugar. Even the shortest of the walks. I mean, a short walk can make such a difference and helps your food digest better. I've said that many, many times. And longer walks, of course, are key for keeping your body moving and for more cardiovascular health. But even starting point, 10 minutes when you're finished eating will help in digestion. And guess what else that will help? Of course, your sleep, because your body's digesting the food so much easier. So if you haven't started, start there. 10 minutes after you eat, go for a walk and see what the difference is. I assure you, you are going to see some differences in how you're feeling after you eat. And, my dad was a type 2 diabetic. We've actually had several type 2 diabetics in our family. And it is not something I want. And it's another one of my whys in why I do what I do and why I'm so passionate about helping others to get to their optimal health too, because I watched what my dad went through with type 2 diabetes, and it is not anything I ever want to have to deal with. Okay, so another thing, I kind of talked about this a little bit, but walking, as I said, is so good for reducing stress. But so there's times I've gotten out of the house and I'm like, I got to get out. I have got to get out. And many times when I go out, I am out on a prayer walk. I am that or complete silence. I want nothing. Sometimes a podcast. But if I am feeling like overwhelmed or just frazzled, a walk can help so much in lowering that stress, because what it does, and this is one of the main reasons why, it reduces your stress hormone, the cortisol, which will help you feel less stressed and more relaxed. And a study that I read shows that just 10 minutes of walking can help lower your anxiety and depression, and it can help increase your focus and your creativity, which is exactly like what I was talking about. When I sit at my computer for too long, I start losing focus. I start losing the creativity I need for some of the things that I'm doing. And so I get up, I go outside. I'll either go play with the dogs for a little bit, or I'll go for a little walk. I just move so that I can get that focus back and move on and sit back down and have better focus as I'm working. And it also showed that a 60-minute walk in nature decreases the activity in your brain regions that cause the stress, that are stress producing. So a 60-minute walk, go out and touch some grass, get out in nature and see how much your stress is reduced. I would love if any of you start doing this and incorporate walking into your life. Please reach out to me, email me, DM me on Instagram. I would love to hear about your journey with walking. Okay, another thing it can help, of course, is improve your sleep, because anything we're doing that is moving our body can help us. And walking and working out regularly can help you sleep better at night. And one of the main things about that is because our physical activity can naturally boost the effects of melatonin, and that's our sleep hormone. And a study I read on this, for postmenopausal women who do light to moderate intensity physical activity, sleep better at night than those that are sedentary. And it makes sense. It talked about how it found that healthy adults that walk daily had a significant positive impact on their sleep quality and length of sleep. And again, walking helps reduce pain and stress, so that also takes away those things that might wake you up and disturb your sleep. And so it is such a great way to also get better sleep at night. Okay, another thing is it can boost your brain power. And I'm not just saying that from a standpoint of what I think. It makes you smarter, but it truly, there are studies out there that show if you walk briskly for an hour 3 times a week, that the decision making areas of your brains work more efficiently. How cool is that? I learned even more on benefits when I studied this for y'all. I learned even more about the things that it can do. And something that seems as simple as walking can help improve your brain function. and especially in older women. So as you're aging, this can help keep your brain optimal. And most of the research and the experts that I read on this believe it's because of the increased blood flow to the brain that occurs when you exercise. So, I mean, makes sense, right? So I say, get your feet moving because we want our brains to stay sharp and smart and ready to go and make decisions. And so I think it's so important, brain health. And again, I can bring up my dad because my dad had Alzheimer's and vascular dementia, all brain issues. And again, watching him walk through those diseases was as most of you know, or I should say a lot of you out there know that have walked in the same shoes I have. It is one of the hardest things I have ever gone through in my life, watching my dad deteriorate from that. So it is so crucial to me to keep my brain health just strong and doing what I can to help that too. Okay, another big one, and this is huge for me because it can help alleviate joint pain. And as I've gotten older, definitely there can be more joint pain. I do have arthritis, and it's pretty bad in my hands. I have helped control it through diet and exercise, what I'm eating, and trying to keep the inflammation down. My knees can get sore because of past injuries, and hips, which a lot of the joint pain can happen. But and you might think that like walking, pounding the pavement um, is going to help, is going to hurt. I'm sorry, is what I meant to say. You might think that it's going to hurt, but again, what it does is it increases your blood flow to these tense areas, to these tight areas, and helps strengthen the muscles around your joints. So let me say with that, if you start walking and doing things in that night or the next day, you're like, I'm too sore, my joints are killing me, it's so sore. Don't give up because it's your body getting used to that. It's your body getting used to that new increased blood flow and strengthening those muscles. So don't give up. Keep trying and just go back at it slowly. And I feel confident that you will feel a difference in your joints as you keep moving. And like I said, start with 10 minutes if you're not there yet and work your way up. But this can help just kind of take away some of that arthritis pain that goes with all with the aging and with as you get older. If you have past injuries, you have things that maybe you have scar tissue you're dealing with that is set in around joints. Walking can help get the blood flow to that and to those muscles and help that joint pain. And so I highly, highly encourage that. And not really along with that, but something that made me think of, it also can help with varicose veins. That's not really something I've had to deal with. I had it when I was pregnant with my daughter, but it can also help that by pushing blood back up to the hearts and lungs, and the walking then strengthens that circulatory system. And by strengthening and preserving that leg muscle, it boosts that heavy blood flow. So that can really help ease the swelling and like restlessness you get in your legs from those varicose or spider veins. And so walking can help with that too. And I know a lot of women have issues with that. So I hope that encourages you to try walking, especially if you are dealing with that same thing. Okay, I got a couple more, so hang with me. Digestive system. It's so important with this because it can stimulate your digestive system. And instead of counting on coffee or whatever, it's time to start thinking about like a walk, especially a morning walk. Because if you can get that regular walking routine going, it can greatly, everyone wants to hear this, greatly improve your bowel movements daily. And one of the studies that I was reading on, it said one of the first things an abdominal surgery patient is required to do is walk because it utilizes core and abdominal muscles, encouraging movement in our GI systems. In other words, when you start moving your body, you start moving your bowels. And I'll tell you, when I donated my kidney last year, they had me up and walking as soon as I possibly could. They wanted me moving. They needed my GI system moving and my bowels and everything moving to know that things were back to where they needed to be. And so walking can definitely help with that tremendously. And it's why we say walk after you eat, because it gets the digestive juices flowing. Okay. Another big thing is kickstarting your immune system. We can ramp up our immune system by walking, because it can increase the number of your immune cells that attack the pathogens in your body. So this could lower your risk of becoming ill from some sort of illness, sickness, disease. And not only that, if you get sick, the people that walk spend less time in a hospital. I think we all want that, right? I know I do. I've been in one. It's not where I want to be, for sure. And there was one study that found those who walked regularly could reduce the risk of having pneumonia or even dying of pneumonia compared to those that don't exercise regularly. And so ramping up your immune health, getting it strong and building that is so incredibly important. None of us want to be sick. I had, and it's still in my voice, but I was sick a month ago, I guess, and it hung on, and it just, anytime I don't feel well, I am so incredibly thankful for my health. It makes me so grateful. And I do what my body needs during that time and rest more, and I don't work out as hard, but it's rare that I skip at least walking a little bit, because I know it helps to build up my body better to overcome whatever's attacking my body. And the other thing, this is another big one for me, and especially for those of you that are aging, but even young people too. It protects your bones. It can help keep your bones strong and healthy. And this can help you later in life. So do it now so that you have less risk for bone loss. And again, that's so incredibly important. And it really can help in any woman, but perimenopausal and menopause women, postmenopause, it's such a benefit to walk and help with your bone health. And what's another thing I wanted to talk about on it? You know, when I go walk, I'll just say on this, it's times I go out there and I just think. Like I said, there are times I pray. There's times I'm out there really praying when I'm going through something hard. But there's times I go and I have silence and I just think. I just go out and let the Lord work in me while I'm walking, listen to what he says, and it helps me to get my mind going and that creativity going. And it just helps me in getting my mind where it needs to be, to focus on the things that matter, focus on the things that I need to do. But I think I'm going to wrap up before I lose my voice with a few things on just walking and encouraging you that becoming an established walker is something that I think will be one of the biggest gifts you could give to yourself. Because when you have a routine, you have that consistency, that habit, what I call the regular rhythms, you're more likely to continue with that activity and then also take on new healthy behaviors. Before you know it, you're like, I don't even know how I was so sedentary before. And any kind of movement is good for you. Any kind of movement. You want to move your body, but find what works for you. And the walking is for almost any age and fitness level. And you will feel so you will feel so proud of yourself. You will feel so empowered. And that will motivate you to stick with it. And I want to add to that, believe in you. Believe in yourself, knowing you can do this. Just start wherever it is for you. Start slow and just know that you can do this. And remember how important it is as you age to incorporate this in, because you don't want to get sedentary and let your bones get weak and your muscles atrophy, and you will get weaker and weaker, and your posture may go. Don't let that happen. I encourage you to make this a part of your life, because walking for older individuals is such a great exercise to get your muscles moving and your heart elevated. And you can speed it up, to increase your heart rate. But the biggest thing is walking is so good for you, good for your mind, your body, your spirit. Walking can help you believe in you and your health goals. And that is what is so important to me. As you add years to your life through walking, it won't take much to see results. You will feel it. You will see it. You will feel it in your heart cardio health. You'll feel it in your digestive health. You'll feel it in your brain and your stress level and your anxiety health. You will feel it all over your body, and you will see so many benefits that I assure you, you will say, how did I not ever do this before? How did I not get started earlier? So I encourage you to create that walking routine. And if you need help, you have questions, again, email me, DM me on Instagram. I'm easy to find at Your Age Is Not Your Cage, and you can look me up. But I encourage you to make this a part of your daily rhythm, your healthy habit, as you discipline yourself to create this walking routine that is going to build and strengthen your body, your mind, and your spirit. And just know it might take some time, but you believe in you and you will be able to do this. And the last thing I will add to that is, don't forget this is so important, good walking shoes. You do not want to create injuries by wearing poor shoes. And I will just say, and this is no promo, I get no kickbacks from this. It took me a while before finding the right shoe, and I had to get a shoe with a special insert because I do have issues with my right foot. And I wear Hoka's with an insert, love them, and I change them out regularly because it's so important that what you're putting on your feet, you take care of and you change them out, and that they are good shoes for you, especially if you're walking on concrete or whatever. And then I'll give you another little tidbit if you want to add a challenge as you go. And as you get better and better, add a weighted vest. That it will burn even more calories. It'll help you get stronger. It helps me with my posture when I'm walking and standing straighter. And so you can start out with a weighted vest that's lower in weight, and then increase as you go. And I do have one on my Amazon. My favorites, my Amazon. The link is in my bio on Instagram, and I will put it in the show notes for you too on those. But that is what I wanted to share with you today on walking. I know I have so much more probably, but I think I covered all my key points, and I think you hear my passion for walking and how I believe it is so important and crucial to your health now, and especially as you age. So if you have not started, just start today and start one step at a time. I believe in you. I'm cheering you on. I assure you, I'm cheering you on. And like I said, I would love to hear your stories. If anyone has any, I would love to hear them and encourage you in it. And if you need advice on anything, please reach out to me. Just know I am here. I am easily reachable, like I said, and I would love to chat with you about it and share more with you. And just know that I am a health and fitness coach, nutrition coach, and I would love to help you in any way that you need. I always offer a consultation call to see if we're a good fit for each other, and I would love to chat with you on that too. So again, thank you for always being such great fans of mine and sending me encouragement. And it means the world to me. And I ask you always to just remember to share this with family and friends. And then also, if you could do a rating and a review, it helps me so much. I would be so appreciative of that. So, okay. Friends, I have enjoyed this episode. I love talking about the things I'm passionate about, and my passion is to help you get the results you want and to get in the best optimal shape as you age. Because just remember, your age is not your cage. So thank you for joining me today on Your Age is Not Your Cage podcast with Carla Allen. And I cannot wait to chat with you again next week. And we will talk to you soon. All right. Love y'all. Thanks.